Should you invest in Rapid City housing in 2024? Hey everybody, it's Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota, the gateway to the Black Hills. With popularity of TV shows on HGTV and a lot of different TikTok videos I've seen about building wealth by investing in real estate has been kind of a hot topic, especially lately. So is investing in Rapid City a safe investment? Let's chat about it. First of all, the Rapid City real estate market has been historically a very stable market. Even in the housing crash of 2008 to 2009-10, we had a price reduction in our properties of 6%. That's 6, not 66. When the rest of the country was going 40, 50, 60% down, we went down 6%. I was with Prudential Real Estate at the time. We had a representative from, I believe, Denver come up, and she was just amazed at what was going on in our market. We are still selling to buyers and sellers. We had maybe 10, 15% foreclosures and short sales, not as many as the rest of the world. Even as the interest rates have risen here in 2023, we haven't seen our prices drop a whole lot. There's some single-digit drops in the above $600,000 range, but in that under $600,000 range, prices haven't come down an awful lot. Now, we are seeing things go down a little bit in that under $600,000 price point. We're starting to see, sellers are giving a little more concessions to buyers. Buyers are starting to get a few more deals, especially as we got into the wintertime here in 2023. Things kind of slowed down a little bit. However, as we're talking about interest rates coming down in 2024, I'm expecting to see our spring market spring back up to the point where we're having multiple offers again and bidding wars like we did in the past 2020 to 2022. Speaking of that crazy 2-year time period, prices from 2019 to 2022 went up 30%. Typically speaking, we see a general slow-moving, usually single-digit price increase year over year. That 30% was really unusual for our area, and we kind of take that and set that aside. However, I don't expect prices to drop drastically to get us back down to where we were in 2019 levels. I expect things will continue as they have historically, single-digit rise year after year after year. So let's give you an idea of what home prices are in our area. Let's use a basic 912 square foot ranch-style home in the southeast part of town because there's lots of them down there, and we can kind of get a feel of where prices have gone in the past few years. In 2019, that 912 square foot home sold on average for $141,000. There actually was a low one sold for $65,000. In 2023, that average for that type of property is $237,000. And the lowest, $200,000. Now, the rental market back in 2020 and 2021 was really, really tight. However, there have been a lot of apartment buildings that have been built and are presently being built that has kind of helped relieve that pressure a little bit. But the average rents in our area, they aren't considered cheap by any means. According to rent.com, the average rent of a studio apartment is $1,000. One bedroom is $1,200. Two bedroom is $1,350. And four bedroom gets anywhere between $1,750 and $2,500. Prior to 2019, I would tell my military clients who probably was going to leave in 3 to 4 years that if they bought a property, maintained it well, and sold it at the end of that 3 to 4 year time period, they would usually get their money out of the property and make maybe a little bit of a profit. Based on the historical data I've just shared with you, I would expect that if you bought something now, in 5-10 years, as long as you maintain the property correctly, that you'd probably be able to make a decent profit out of the sale of that property. What about the future of Rapid City? What's going to happen in the next few years? City officials and those in the Chamber of Commerce, which is called Elevate here at Rapid City, are estimating between 20 and 30,000 more people in our area in the next 10 years. Now, this is due to a number of factors. First of all, as I mentioned before, we've got about a 150-mile trade radius where everybody from this area comes to Rapid City to do their services, whether it's medical for the hospital and all the surrounding medical community, whether it's to do your taxes, the financial, lawyers, all the different services. And it's where everybody comes in that radius to go big shopping. Christmas time is nuts around here. And of course, go to your concerts, your plays, and the theater. Plus, the Black Hills got found out the past couple of years. We're seeing more and more tourists coming to the area, which of course is helping that economic base. South Dakota remains a healthy business environment, so we're seeing more and more businesses coming into the area. We're seeing some amusement parks being talked about, a number of new things in the works in our Rapid City area. And maybe most importantly, we've got the Ellsworth Air Force Base, which is huge to our community, and that exists just north of Box Elder, just a few miles east of town. Ellsworth Air Force Base was awarded the new B-21 Stealth Bomber mission, so in the next few years as that materializes, we'll see more and more people coming to the base and thus to the Rapid City area. Rapid City is the 54th fastest growing city in the country. the #1 city in the Midwest. We saw a 2.74% growth from 2021 to 2022, which is higher than the national average. Experts predict that the state of South Dakota, that's right about 900,000 people right now, will have about 1 million people by 2030. So we're not seeing things slowing down, nor is it looking like we're slowing down anytime soon. However, the housing is limited. And when you have a lot of people that want to move to the area and no place to go, what happens to the prices? They go up. We've been averaging about 500 homes on the market the past few months, and that's relatively low compared to where things were back prior to 2020. Fortunately, the city leaders are aware of our housing issues. They're working on affordable housing. They're working on expanding the Rapid City area smartly to include the infrastructure, the water, the roads, all the different things. So hopefully things will be built in the correct way for all the people that are coming and where we're going to be in the future. Plus, I heard Chick-fil-A come to town. I know you people wanted it. There it is. What about new construction? Due to the high cost of materials and the higher and higher cost of labor, because those guys are all really busy, so if you want them to work on your project, they're probably going to charge you good. As I mentioned in the introduction, there's a lot of people going around looking for investment properties, for cheap properties they can buy and fix and flip. So it's a very popular thing. So since that demand is higher, that's going to raise those prices of those project houses considerably as well. However, when it comes to everything else, when it comes to investment properties, you run it from the numbers only and keep your emotions out of the picture. In October of 2021, we managed to find a little house that really needed a makeover that we bought for $285,000. The sellers did replace the roof and the gutters and took care of the sewer line for us, so leastwise the big things were taken care of. We spent the next few months after that taking out the kitchen, taking out the bathroom, repainting, doing all the things. And fortunately now, the kids are living in it now and renting it from us, but it's worth probably $250,000, $260,000 after the fix-up. However, to purchase the property, we actually were competing against another buyer. Because we were buying it for our kids to live in, we were willing to spend a little bit more money than that investor probably was, because he was just thinking pure numbers, fix and flip. The next question a lot of people ask when it comes to investing in properties is, can I use this for an Airbnb short-term rental? You need to make sure we look at all the potential rules before you jump into a property if that's your entire plan for your investment strategy. First of all, we gotta look at the HOA and the covenants. Then we gotta look at the city rules and regulations. There's county rules and regulations. Right now, Pennington County is working on revamping its short-term rental rules. So we'll have to see in the next few months how that turns out. Plus, if you're within the city limits of Rapid City, you've got to get their permission, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You want to make sure that you are aware of all the pieces involved before you buy a property, if short-term rental is what you want to do. And now I know some of the news articles you've seen have talked about how crazy foreclosures are right now, which of course, because after forbearance it was 0, so now that's just the way it's going to be. But I've seen like a handful of foreclosures in our area. And most of those haven't seemed like a really great deal either. So that certainly is an option for you, but I wouldn't sit around waiting for foreclosures to suddenly glut the market. Not expecting that in our area at all. So I said all that to say this. Yes, Rapid City is a good place to buy a home and to hold on to it and sell after a number of years. Provided that you buy a house in the right location and you take care of that property, I would not expect you to have any issues making money on the sale of the property in 5, 10 years, especially if you're renting it out through that whole time. However, a flip is going to be tough in our market. With the prices being where they are, the prices of materials being where they are, the price of labor being where it is, it's really tough to get everybody in there to do the job and actually make money on a flip, especially if you're not actually the one doing all the work. And the property that we bought, we did the majority of the work. We hired an electrician and sheetrock guy, and I think we pretty much did the rest. But if we were hired all that stuff out, there's no way we would have been profitable on that whatsoever. So if flipping homes is on your radar, you got to make sure that we buy for the right price. So when we add on all the expensive repairs, that you have that built into it, make sure you built in a cushion, make sure you built in the sales price to sell it later, all the things, make sure you have your numbers solid so you make money instead of lose money. If you're thinking about investing in Rapid City in the future, give me a call. Let me know how we can help you find that property that works just right for you. If you liked watching this video, make sure you check out this playlist and this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Remember, love where you live.